Jawuan right now, Streetport recording artist. Now I know you have your new EP out. It's good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind the whole?
Okay, so I feel like this year was a big gap in between what I was dropping. Either I was dropping a project in a long time from the next project, or I was just dropping singles here and there. So good to see you is like, hey Jawuan, it's good to see you. It's good to see you in the mood of dropping again. It's good to see more songs, more music, as well as far as the content. It's just about having that feeling of being with the homies, you know, or even just being around your family and being 100% secure and feeling 100% free to be that person that you are. Much how I feel in my music, and much how my music helps other people feel. So that was the whole motivation behind calling it Good to See You. I had that clip of my grandma speaking, and as soon as I heard it, it gave me I was like, that's it right there.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of one of the songs off of Good to See You, I see you had Duke Riley, the linebacker for the Falcons. He was on one of the tapes. How did that collab come about?
That's just a homie. I didn't even know he was a linebacker for the Falcons. He wanted to create some music. We created some music. It wasn't too much planning and going into making a song. It's just, it was around. He caught the vibe of the song, and we thought it was beautiful that how it came out. I was like, yes, I want this on my project. He killed it.
Okay, that's good. So, you know, speaking about, you have the whole iSupportJawuan movement, you know, free world movement. How do you feel about your support in the city?
I feel like people in the city have taken to me in a kind of a shocking way, just because there's not as big of a lane, or my sound isn't, although we might consider it mainstream in other places, where we from, that's like not the popular sound.
For sure.
People have a certain club fast pace, and it's really almost like a certain subject also that they want to hear all the time, and I don't really fit into that. So for me to get where I have gotten so far, I think that's a beautiful achievement, because let them tell it wasn't supposed to happen. I do think that just because of people like me are so rare, that they aren't completely aware of how to support an artist that's in my position, and it goes as far as, you like the music, maybe it's making it a little bit more important to go see the songs that you like to hear, or buying some merch for because streaming and stuff isn't paying what CDs used to pay. So people like me that's not signed to a label eating off merch, and we eating off shows, and that's all off word of mouth, buzz type stuff, So it's important for me for people to understand how to fully support an artist, only if that's the capacity that you wish to support an artist. And I know people want to support an artist to that capacity, and they're just not aware of it. So I love the support. It's just about being more educated about how to support.
Okay. So speaking of that, I started listening to you personally back when you dropped Young Black Louisiana. What do you think was a point where people just started, when your buzz started really building up in the city?
Oh no, I haven't even been able to really pay attention to see like a start and a stopping point. I'm always focused on, like, once we did the last project, learning, and then moving on, and then moving on. I'm still in a phase to where, like, if there has been a change in people's mind about my status, it hasn't been apparent to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like going off the sheer like hunger, and I'm loving the feedback that I'm getting.
Okay. So kind of going into that, well, I guess you said that you don't really notice, but do you feel like it's hard for you to make a name for yourself in this city in particular?
I think it's a bit harder than, like we were talking about, somebody who might follow that sound of the one we were mentioning earlier. It's a bit harder just because it's not the sound that's usually catching people's ear. It takes a little bit more convincing to listen to, because first of all, in this day and age, you tell somebody a homeboy rapping, like that's like, you know, that's the meaning, you know, your homeboy rap. But I think that I was just blessed to be actually talented, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that can make conscious music or whatever lane that you want to put me in. It's a lot of people that might pick the subjects I pick and pick the type of music that I like to make, but they still not doing it like me. So I think that's just one of the things that's been put in my favor. I'm only Jawuan, and it's just meant to happen. What was the question again?
Nah, you good. You answered it.
Okay.
Pretty well. So going out of Shreveport locally, how's your reception in other cities?
I feel like with any audience that I meet, it doesn't matter if I'm going on a show and I got one headliner this month, and then we're doing one headliner this next month, 1,300 people in this room, 2,500 people in this room. As always, like, they always receive me with a breath of like, it's like refreshing. It's like we've been looking for somebody like you for a minute. Mm-hmm. They locked in, and not only are they listening, they're being able to bounce, they're being entertained. And you don't get that from many artists. You either get you really heavily conscious, you really heavy lyrical, and you focus in on that, or you really all the way on the other side. And not only do I try to give a good balance between making it artistic and making it so you can bounce, I put a lot of time into the entertainment part of it when we're doing the shows, and making sure, like, I'm not just sounding monotone the whole track, you know, and stuff like that. So people really soak that type of stuff in, and I'm proud that they notice those type of things, because, you know, I put time into it.
Okay. Speaking of putting time into it, I know, like, you know, being an artist is pretty difficult, and, you know, you have to have a team around you to be able to, you know, do some of the things that you do. Who are some of the people that are really influential and pushing you and keeping you going forward?
Like on my team?
Yeah.
First I have my girlfriend Robin. She's somebody that I talk to on an everyday basis as far as what I'm trying to do, helping me pull some ideas out of my head that's just probably just sitting in there and manifesting them. She, if you don't know, she shoots all the videos. She shot the Young Black Louisiana video. She shoots most of the videos. Photography. She manages / creative director / whatever she need to do to help out. She does. I have my homie Terrence, who's like the president of my label. He is like same way. Like, whatever we need to do to get done, he does. Like, I feel like everybody that represents the free world has more than a specific job. It's basically like, how can we all help each other? Because we know what the goal is. We know we trying to create the world's biggest label. Not only do that, like, we trying to make it to where people are free from petty things that hold people back. Like, you know, people sit here and they can't create because they don't have access to certain studios, even though they're really good. If they don't have access to certain opportunities, even deeper than that, taking the money from the label and investing it into some pro bono hospitals back in the hood. Like, if we all keep all that goal in mind, I feel like shit, everybody, the president. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
So, major shout out to Robin and Terrence mostly, but they're a bunch of people that just make sure I'm going in a different way.
Okay. So How long have you been, making music and doing rap?
I think I recorded my first song sometime in high school. I can't remember the exact year in high school, but it was with my dad. My dad records with his cousin a little bit, but I've been wanting to make music my whole life. All my earliest memories come from rapping. I think, let's see, Friday was made maybe 94, 90, 93 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I can remember being as young as 3 years old, rapping to the credits about what had happened in the movie from me watching it for the first time. Like, oh, he hit him with a brick, and then he like, you know what I'm saying, just a little kid. I think having my dad around me, watching him doing it, it's like something that I kind of picked up and started emulating. And it just grew. It just grew from that point, like never stopped.
So your dad was a producer or a rapper?
No, he was a rapper.
Okay.
And so like I can't remember even because my dad went to jail for a period of time. Even when we were separated, I remember being in 3rd grade getting raps taken up just because they didn't like what I was writing. I remember middle school doing talent shows. I remember being in high school and instead of writing notes, I was rapping. I remember being in college and instead of going to class, I was in the closet recording. Like for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to do this, not because I wanted to be a rapper. Like I want to hear what songs I can make. I like making them. It's like that's I get the joy out of that type of stuff. So I've been doing that for a minute. I would say I dropped my first mixtape that I expected people to take serious maybe around 2013, and once I saw people's reaction from it, it was like that confirmation that I'm good as I thought I was. I think like I didn't know nothing about promo. I think the first day we put it up on there, it was like at 1,000 plays, and I was like, that sound cool to me. So from there I haven't stopped as far as putting it out. Like that was our SoundCloud type stuff, like 2013 and stuff. Before SoundCloud became a rapper wave, I was just looking for a way to drop my music without having to put everything on Dead Piff, because I remember everybody was dropping on Dead Piff. That was around the time I was already outsourcing, looking for SoundCloud. Like as far as I can remember, somebody probably gonna find another rapper, probably not though, but I can remember being one of the first people that was surrounded by us, like that was dropping on SoundCloud.
Oh yeah. Alright. So going into that, who are some of your influences in the game now, or not even just in the rap game? What are some of your musical influences?
Yeah, I have a couple. Every time I get asked that question, it's always a different answer, because the first answer that comes to my head is that I don't have any influence. It's just usually God, because that's where all my ideas come from. It's like I'm sitting here and I'm meditating, not literally, but like I can just be sitting looking at the window and the idea comes to my head. That's my way of explaining. Like it don't feel like me that's coming up with that idea. It feels like divine intervention coming up with that idea. So my biggest influence is God, but I know the answer that people like to hear. Like I do have standards for what is good, and I guess watching people throughout their career helps mold that standard of what I think is good. So off top, people like Lauryn Hill, J. Cole, Jay-Z, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Bill Gates, science. I get a lot of influences because my music is so personal. I'm really rapping about whatever it is that touched me that day, or whatever it thought that was linking around my mind at the time. And so like it could have been me that whole day. I just dived into what the fuck, how was the universe formed, and like that is what inspired me to create a song called That Star Inside or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
It be that type of stuff. I'm inspired by everything and nothing at the same time. Like I'm just living life. And
I understand that.
Yeah. But it, like watching people like Jay-Z make me want to handle my business right. Watching people like Beyonce make me want to present myself in such a grand way, and watching people like Bill Gates make me figure out, like this could be maneuvered as a product as well. And those are, like, I would say, influences in that way.
Okay. So when it's all said and done, what do you want your music, to leave in the game, or to say about you?
Yeah, I want to create a standard for what it means to become an artist that's the elite artist, like that. Not that you don't have that no more, but it's such a rarity. But I feel like it's not rare out there. Like, it's all about what we decide to put our most attention on. So despite of what the attention, I want you to look at me and see that in time your wave will come, and you will get the time to prove how elite you are, and you just gotta take advantage of that moment. I want you to remember that there are no labels. Nothing ever means this and this doesn't ever mean that. People have different reactions for different things that they do, and there's always small things that create different effects later on in life. So just because it happened one way for one person doesn't mean that it's always going to happen another way for another person. And that's one of the things that Free the World stands for, is like freeing everybody from the cages and labels. I want people to look at me and realize that you don't need to fit into anybody's standards. You don't need to fit to anybody's criteria, because you don't need to be defined. Like, you just do you, and however it comes out, that's how it comes out.
Okay, so going into being free and staying free, if the opportunity ever presents itself, would you rather stay? Would you want to sign to a label, or would you want to stay?
I would sign to a label. The only thing is, the business part is so new to me that I've recently been just giving myself the opportunity to see, like, how far can I take it to myself. Because I think that at a certain point, like, the label can provide a help. If you're an artist and you're struggling to get to one point and you just hitting the ceiling, like, there's people that can remove that ceiling and help. And if it works, like I was just saying, if it works, it works. If it don't work, it works. But for me, I haven't given myself enough time to market myself and put myself out there to be like, you know what, I can't do it, let a label do it instead. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing this for a period of time is giving myself that space to say, Jawuan, you can do this stuff independently, because I don't think it's possible, and I don't think it's impossible. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that it hasn't been done before. Just taking the right steps in the way it needs to be done. And if I get to a point where I feel like I need the label, then I will contact the label. I've been in contact with a couple labels, but that whole process has just helped me realize that, if I'm sitting here talking to them, it's something they see they can sell. Why can't I sell it?
Right. Okay. I think that should close it up. But I just want, for people who I wouldn't know, who haven't really heard about you in the city, but for people who haven't heard of you that see this, how can they listen to some of your music? How can they get in contact with you? If they,
Yeah. Okay. So all of my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, is Jawuan Ford, JawuanFord. My Apple Music, my YouTube, all of that is Jawuan. I have my newest project, Good to See You. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, Tidal, Pandora, whatever you have it. Right now, just search Jawuan. Good to See You. It should be under my latest release. I'm really in the mode of producing a lot of visuals, so you might want to stay subscribed on YouTube. That's Jawuan. Also, a lot of shows coming to a town near you, especially in the Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Texas, Louisiana, all that type of area. We coming soon. When is this dropping?
I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna shout out all the shows. If it dropped this week, then if you're in Shreveport, I got shows Saturday at Hayes. Catch the Wave with Young Nisa and DJ Red. You can pull up there. If you're in Dallas, I'm gonna be at Bricks Block Party performing up. I know if you're in Dallas, you know about Bricks Block Party, so you gotta pull your ass up. And the Next Currency tour, making this run through Texas, I will also be attached. So make sure y'all tuned in and notified on my Instagram and Twitter or whatever, so you'll be updated on all those moves.
Okay. I think I forgot to ask you about okay, so I know you have the song and the visuals out for National Treasure. What was some of the inspiration for that song?
Alright, I think, let's see, National Treasure. I remember making the beat. And
so you produced that yourself?
Yeah. Most especially in for the last year or so, I've been in love with my production. I feel like I'm on a wave that I can't find working with anybody else. So a lot of the times I've been working with myself. But National Treasure, when I was making that beat, it was those trumpets that made me feel like I was somewhere exotic or whatever. And those snaps sounded like I hear myself in a cave, and it's like stalagmites dripping, like doop, doop, doop. And when I think of a cave, I think of like Indiana Jones, like National Treasure type. And I had just remember I had told my cousin the other day that like he was talking about the songs that I've been dropping. Like, yeah, I'm really standing in their chest. And at that moment, hearing all those components together on that beat, and me thinking about what I had just told my cousin, it all came together. National Treasure, stand in their chest, and explain their way. So when I got the title National Treasure, I already knew I was gonna try to go along the roads of like the Nicolas Cage movie. I think it's by Disney, but him and his friends, they go on the treasure chest and they get chased by the CIA to find the treasure first or whatever. But that was the biggest inspiration for it as far as the video, and we tried to recreate that in the way that Jawuan would. So that was real fun. Shout out to David G for helping it come alive.
Okay. And what other projects do you have coming up?
I have a couple projects coming up because it's dropping season, so we dropping. Like, I don't want to say too much, but like it's coming. But make sure like that everything from good to see. You going and you playing and you sharing it, because I'm finna drop I know for a fact I'm dropping a visual for every song on there. So before I move on to any other project, I'm gonna take care of that first and get a lot of these shows out the way. So stay on your toes. There's a lot of stuff coming soon.
Alright, man.